MPVs or multi-purpose vehicles. These are the sort of vehicles you would consider buying if you have a large family or you need a car that can carry some luggage at times and also ferry people around in comfort. They are awesome and cheap alternatives to 7-seater crossovers such as the Vanguard and Mitsubishi Outlander. Will you opt for one of these MPVs or the more expensive 7-seater crossovers which offer a higher sitting position but on the contrary are pricier to run and maintain? There are several of these MPVs on the Kenyan market and that's what we will be looking at today. We will compare 6 of these MPVs and find out which one deserves your hard-earned money. So stay tuned.
Searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Birds jumping and I hear my name. Grasping into life. Life is happy but it's
So welcome to IK Auto Reviews, and today we will be having this mega comparison of these 6 MPVs, that is the Toyota Wish, Nissan Lafesta, Mazda Premacy, VW Touran, Honda Stream, as well as the Subaru Exiga. All these are Japanese MPVs except the VW Touran, which is a German MPV. It's also important to note that the Nissan Lafesta and Mazda Premacy, it's basically one car. It was produced by Mazda, and then they had an agreement with the Nissan. They supplied Nissan with that MPV, and Nissan rebadged it and called it the Nissan Lafesta. So it's typically the same vehicle. Before we start this comparison, I would highly appreciate it if you would kindly consider subscribing to the channel for more informative content on cars. You can also support the channel by donating. I will leave the details in the description box. So the Toyota Wish sells like hotcake and it's the most expensive vehicle here. It will set you back at around 1.2 million to drive away one, depending on the features, mileage, as well as the specifications. It's also the most expensive to insure at around 85,000 shillings per annum. As for third-party insurance, it's 7,000 shillings for all the MPVs. Everywhere you go, you will always see a Toyota Wish. People are buying it for family use, for business, despite the high purchase price and insurance cost. The main advantages of this vehicle is that it has great fuel economy, it has good space, and the resale value is also quite good. But the disadvantage is that it's one vehicle that is prone to car theft. So if you intend to buy a Toyota Wish, then you have to also invest in ensuring that stealing it will be quite a problem, and even if it is stolen, then finding it or retrieving it again will be possible. So moving on to the Nissan Lafesta, it will set you back at around 850,000. It's slightly cheaper than the Mazda Premacy, even though it's the same vehicle. I think this is because of the badge. In terms of insurance, it's also cheaper by around 2,000 shillings. It costs around 36,000 shillings to insure, while the Mazda Premacy costs around 38,000 shillings to insure. The Mazda Premacy, you can drive it away from around 900,000 shillings. So I think the badge is something that plays a key role in the slight price difference. Otherwise, it's just the same vehicle. Moving on to the VW Touran, it will cost around 1.15 million shillings and insuring it is around 48,000 shillings. The Honda Stream, expect to drive one from around 1 million shillings. Insuring it will cost around 44,000 shillings. And lastly, the Subaru Exiga, 950,000 shillings, the purchase cost, and insuring it is around 36,000 shillings. So what are the engine options for each of these MPVs? We will start with the Toyota Wish, which has got two options, a 1.8 liter engine as well as a more powerful 2 liter engine. These are petrol 4-cylinder engines. You can get it in either front wheel drive or all wheel drive. As for the transmission, there's only one option, which is a continuously variable transmission, which has got 7 preset gear ratios. Moving on to the Nissan Lafesta and the Mazda Premacy, there is only one engine option, which is a 2 liter petrol engine, and you can get this engine paired to either a 4-speed automatic or a 5-speed automatic. These two options are torque converter automatics. The VW Touran has got a plethora of engine options. We'll begin with the petrol options, which are two. There's a 1.2 liter turbocharged engine as well as a 1.4 liter turbocharged engine. Now moving on to the diesel, like in typical VW fashion, you find that one engine option has got two different outputs, and so we have a 1.6 diesel that can produce either 90 horsepower or 105 horsepower. The other diesel is a 2 liter that can either produce 140 horsepower or a more powerful 170 horsepower. This car is only available in 2-wheel drive. As for the transmission, we have three options, which is a 6-speed DSG automatic, 7-speed DSG automatic, and lastly a 6-speed manual. These DSG automatics are dual clutch transmissions, whereby there are two sets of clutches. One set controls the odd gears and the other clutch controls the even gears. These are transmissions that are mostly used in sports cars for that quick shifting of the gears, but here in the VW Touran or in other mainstream vehicles, they are mostly used for fuel consumption. They are tuned for fuel efficiency. The Honda Stream has got two engine options, which are similar to those of the Toyota Wish. There's a 1.8 liter as well as a 2 liter petrol 4-cylinder engine, and you can get it in either front or all-wheel drive. As for the transmission, there's a CVT or a 5-speed automatic. Lastly, the Subaru Exiga has got three engine options. That's a 2 liter, a 2.5 liter, and a more powerful 2 liter turbocharged engine. You can get this car in all-wheel drive. It's not available in 2-wheel drive. As for the transmission, there's a CVT as well as a 5-speed automatic transmission. So how much fuel will each of these MPVs consume? It is important to note that this will highly depend on how you drive, as well as if the vehicle is heavily loaded. So we will begin with the Toyota Wish. The 1.8 will achieve around 16.5 kilometers to the liter, and the more powerful 2 liter will get around 14.5 kilometers to the liter. The fuel tank is 60 liters. The Nissan Lafesta and Mazda Premacy will get around 15 kilometers to the liter, and they both also have a 60 liter fuel tank. With the VW Touran, the 1.2 expect around 18 kilometers to the liter. The 1.4 expect around 17 kilometers to the liter. In terms of the diesels, expect around 23 kilometers to the liter for the 1.6 and 21 kilometers to the liter for the 2 liter engine. The fuel tank is 70 liters, which is the largest tank in these MPVs. The Honda Stream, the 1.8 will get around 13 kilometers to the liter, and the 2 liter will achieve around 12 kilometers to the liter. It has got a 55 liter tank, and lastly 14 kilometers to the liter for the 2.0 liter in the Subaru Exiga. The 2.5 will get around 13 kilometers to the liter, and lastly the more powerful 2 liter turbocharged engine will achieve around 12 kilometers to the liter, and the fuel tank is 65 liters. So now let's move on to the service costs, and here it is also important to note that the amount that you spend in servicing will depend on where you service your car, as well as the quality of materials that you choose to use. For example, if you choose to use synthetic oil then it will cost you more. So for the Toyota Wish, Nissan Lafesta and Mazda Premacy, expect to spend roughly 10,000 shillings after every 5,000 kilometers. The VW Touran will set you back at around 12,000 shillings. The Honda Stream and the Subaru Exiga will set you back at around 10,000 shillings. As for the carb weight, the Toyota Wish is 1,380 kilograms. The Nissan Lafesta and Mazda Premacy weigh around 1,470 kilograms. The VW Touran 1,516 kilograms. Honda Stream 1,370 kilograms. And lastly, the Subaru will weigh in at around 1,525 kilograms. Some of the optional features that you can get with the Toyota Wish include a navigation, roof rails, as well as a reversing camera. As for the Nissan Lafesta and Mazda Premacy, you can get them with electric sliding doors, fog lights, alloy rims, a reversing camera, as well as a navigation. Moving on to the VW Touran, you can get it with daytime running lights, dual zone AC, and a sunroof. For the Honda Stream, there are paddle shifts, a reversing camera, and lastly a dual zone AC. For the Exiga, there's a panoramic sunroof, a navigation, eyesight system, as well as electric seats. In terms of exterior designs, they are inoffensive. I don't think there is any design here that can break a deal. The Mazda Premacy and the Nissan Lafesta, I think they are more family oriented. They have got sliding doors that make it easy to either enter or exit the vehicle. As for the Subaru Exiga, it tends to sit a bit lower, and it's also a bit longer than something like a Toyota Wish or a Honda Stream. As for the VW Touran, it's boxy, and this enables it to have good headroom in the interior. It's quite spacious in the interior. As for the Toyota Wish, it also tends to look a bit more family oriented. It's only that it doesn't have sliding doors. The Honda Stream appeals more to younger buyers as opposed to the Toyota Wish. Now let's talk about the interior designs of these vehicles. Beginning with the Toyota Wish, I think everything is well laid out. At the top is the infotainment system, then the climate controls. The gear lever is also positioned on the dashboard just like the previous generation. And there's space in between the two front seats as well as two cup holders. The boot with the third row of seats up, the boot is small. You can maybe fit in very few things, but when they are folded down, then there's adequate space. Entry into the third row of seats is also okay, especially for smaller people, but the second row of seats is okay. It can accommodate 3 passengers even on long journeys without any problem. Secondly, let's look at the Mazda Premacy and Nissan Lafesta. These two are slightly more spacious compared to the Toyota Wish. Everything is well laid out again. There is also audio controls on the steering wheel, AC vents, the infotainment system, the AC controls. Everything is well laid out. The second row of seats, there is ample space and the seats are very comfortable, much more comfortable compared to the Toyota Wish. These seats can also fold down. The second row and the third row of seats can also fold down, and there's a lot of space. Even with the third row of seats alone folded down, there's ample space to put in 4 suitcases and a lot more. The third row of seats, the entry into the third row of seats is also okay, especially due to the sliding doors, which make entry and exit much more easier compared to something like a Honda Stream. I think the VW Touran has the most spacious cabin. The driving position is spot on. It's slightly elevated, so you have a good view of the road. There's also an armrest and 2 cup holders in between the front seats. At the back, there are 3 individual seats which make it even more comfortable on long journeys. There are 2 tables behind the 2 front seats, which means you can be able to have a meal or maybe place something on top of them. These seats can accommodate 3 tall adults even on long journeys without any problem or any fatigue. To access the third row of seats is quite easy, despite the fact that this car does not have a sliding door. The door aperture is quite wide, so ingress and egress is quite easy. Moving on to the Honda Stream, I think the same story continues. It is well laid out ergonomically, everything is placed where it should be, and the interior quality of materials is the same as all the other MPVs. It's all plastic, and this is okay because it will be durable in the long run. The second row of seats can accommodate 3 passengers, but at a squeeze, maybe 2 adults and a small kid at the center will be fine. There's also an armrest and 2 cup holders, but the seats are quite comfortable. The third row of seats are not as spacious compared to the Toyota Wish. The Toyota Wish tends to offer a bit more space compared to this car. Like the other MPVs, with the third row of seats folded down, there's good storage space in the boot, but with the third row of seats up, then the boot space is quite limited. You can fit in maybe just a few soft bags. The interior of the Subaru Exiga resembles that of the Subaru Forester. Its design is unlike any other MPV in this comparison. It's spacious at the front row of seats. At the second row is where it shines. There is ample legroom and headroom. The seats are also very comfortable. Generally, in terms of space at the back, it comes second after the VW Touran. The boot is also much better than the Wish and Stream, with the third row of seats up, and accessing those seats at the back is also a bit easier compared to the Honda Stream. The door aperture is quite wide and the back seats are also very comfortable, but they should mostly be left for kids, just like in the Toyota Wish or Honda Stream. All these MPVs are quite stable on the road, even on high speeds, but the VW Touran has got better driving dynamics. So which MPV should you go for? If you intend to buy a car that you will probably use for around 5 years, then dispose it off, then I think the Toyota Wish is the best bet, because it has got good resale value, so you will get back most of your money after a period of 5 years or 6 years if you maintain the car well. On the other hand, if you want a car that you intend to keep for a long time, then I think the Nissan Lafesta or Mazda Premacy is a good choice, because they are much more affordable than the others, and they are very reliable, and the spare parts are also affordable and easy to find. Go for the VW Touran if you want something different from the Japanese options. However, it is important to note that if you can get one that has got low mileage and is still in good condition, it will serve you for a long time. But as it starts aging and gaining high mileage, then the repairs may start, and they are very expensive, especially the ones associated with the DSG gearbox or the turbos. They can be quite expensive, and you may end up even regretting why you bought the VW Touran in the first place. And again, this is not a car that is forgiving to poor maintenance like the Japanese options. It requires a strict servicing schedule and use of genuine quality parts. The Honda Stream appeals more to younger buyers. It tends to have a bit of a sporty look, especially the RSZ variants. Lastly, the Subaru Exiga is a good option if you don't want to blend in the crowd. It's different and unique, especially the 2-liter turbo with a hood scoop. So what will be your option? Let me know in the comment section. Personally, I think I will go for the Honda Stream. It looks good and drives well. In fact, in terms of picking up speed, it's better than the Toyota Wish. So thank you for watching. I hope this has been helpful. Kindly share and subscribe. For any inquiries, feel free to reach me via email or WhatsApp. If you need any advice or are looking for a particular car, also don't hesitate to reach me. I can help you get a good discount on one. Stay safe. See you in the next video.